Chelsea are the champions of Europe. And they've done it in the most remarkable fashion.
Chelsea playing in the Champions League final again this weekend. Always like to reminisce about what happened in 2012. It was a brilliant night in Munich. But some of the stories that happened in the dressing room and on the pitch after the game haven't all been told. So I thought maybe we'd get together with some of the main guys who were involved that night. Let's start off by seeing if we can get hold of Petr Cech. Hold on, I think he's in the waiting room. Here we go. Hey, Petr, how are you getting on? You all right?
Yes, I'm good. Thank you.
I noticed that you're wearing the gear from 2012. I mean, is that because Chelsea are in a Champions League final this weekend and we're going to relive what happened 9 years ago?
Olic, saved by Cech!
When you want to talk about something like that, then I thought that it's a good idea to put the gear we wore, and you know, this is the shirt. We actually traveled as a team. We traveled to Munich.
So, I like your accreditation as well. That's pretty impressive.
And
the fact that you managed to keep that. I've lost mine.
And I kept the accreditation.
Obviously, it's an exciting time getting to another Champions League final, but you know what it's like to celebrate winning one. Well, sort of, because you didn't get to do all of the celebrations, did you? Just for those people who don't know what happened, I mean, let's take everybody behind the scenes and sort of paint the picture of what it was like. Everybody else is celebrating, but you get dragged off.
Well, you know, unfortunately, the rules for the Champions League is that if you're selected for the drug test, you have to go to the doping room. There is a designated area, and actually the rule as well says that once you leave the pitch, the only way not to get the failed test, you have to go straight to that room. So basically, I could do all the stuff on the pitch, where you know you wait for the medal, you wait for lifting the trophy, you have that little bit of a moment with the fans and that. But then the moment where you walk inside of the stadium, and then the main big celebration with all the people involved in the team happens in the dressing room. I was not there because I had to go directly to that doping room. So I was sitting there with Mario Gomez. Actually, we were the ones, you know, so he sat there upset because they just lost. And obviously I was happy, but I was not happy because I couldn't believe that with all the joy of winning the Champions League, I will be sitting there completely waiting for giving the sample. So
okay, so hold on a second. I want someone to take us behind the scenes to tell us stories we've never heard before about what happened in the dressing room after the Champions League final, and you can't tell us.
I can't tell you. You need to add other people to that call, because otherwise you will have no idea what happened in the dressing room.
I mean, look, the manager's in the waiting room. The head coach on the night, Roberto Di Matteo, is here. Hello.
Hi.
You all right?
Yeah, I'm very good, thank you.
Good. It's delightful to see you. Listen, I've just started talking to Petr, who's come basically full John Terry in his kit from the night. What was happening in the dressing room? Petr was saying that he missed everything. Can you tell him?
Well, after the game you're talking?
After the game, in the dressing room, what happened? Because he wasn't there.
Well, I have no idea really, because the dressing room was so big. So basically the players had a big dressing room, and then the staff had sort of another extra dressing room apart. So I came through the dressing room, and it was packed with people. I mean, everybody was in there and dancing and singing and celebrating. And I kind of caught the atmosphere a little bit, and then I went in the staff dressing room and with the staff, and I just sank into the chair, and I was absolutely drained. I didn't have any energy left, but I think there was a big celebration. No, I think there was a big celebration in the dressing room. Everybody was jumping up and down.
Look, I don't know what happened prior to the game, but I hear this story that you had two different teams selected for that night. What was the story behind it?
Yeah, I mean, yes. I mean, if you recall, we had 4 suspended players, and the 2 centre halves, David Luiz and Gary Cahill, they were injured prior to the final. So we had a contingency plan in the sense that they were gonna do the warm up and see if they could actually start the game, and if one couldn't or both couldn't, we weren't really sure if they could last or start the game or last how long last in the game as well. So we had we set up 2 team sheets with we had 2 match plans basically with 2 different teams, just to so that we were ready in case somebody dropped out, one of the 2 guys dropped out. So we had everything prepared
was on both team sheets, obviously, but who else was on the other team sheet?
Yes, well, Paulo was going to be on the other one. If one of the centre-halves was going to drop out, Paulo would have been in. That was really the 2 centre-halves. We had a few issues at the back there. Because obviously Ivanovic was suspended, JT was suspended, and the other 2 are in the best shape of their lives going into the final. I'm not 100% sure, but if I recall, I think we had Malouda on the bench with Malouda, Essien, Fernando, Paulo.
You mentioned Paulo Ferreira. Let's get him in now. Hello.
Hey.
The boss has just said that you were on one team sheet but not on the other. What was it like being on the bench, knowing that there was a possibility in the warm-up you might have to play a Champions League final?
I was looking forward. I was praying for one of or David Luiz or Gary Cahill to get injured so I could play that final. I'm joking. No, I'm happy that
I'm sure
nothing happened. I'm happy that nothing happened to them. And
were you doing a warm-up like you were going to start the game, or were you doing a warm-up like I'm going to be a sub and I'm just going to see?
No. I had to do it properly, because imagine last minute or something before they go inside.
I think I spoke to you about it, Paulo, right?
Yeah. You told me, Robbie. You told me to do warm up with them.
Petr, as a goalkeeper, right? What's it like going out into the warm up for a Champions League final, the biggest night of your entire life, not knowing if half of the back 4 is going to be the back 4 by the time you start the game?
Well, to be honest, I have to say that when you go to the warm up before the Champions League final, you are so stressed, worried, and nervous that the last thing you worry about is the others, because you have plenty to do with yourself. I have to say, when I walked out for the warm up, the first length of the pitch, when I just do a bit of running and mobility, I felt like I have another guy sitting on me, that I'm carrying him. The weight of the moment was absolutely crazy. And I was thinking, I run back and forth, and I was thinking I'm already tired. When you feel like, oof. But then, of course, then you go into your routine, then you start, and then you get into your. And then I knew that there was always a possibility that we turn back to the dressing room, and we will have a 5-minute new discussion about the plan and lineup and everything. I think we were all aware. But because we were all aware and we knew about that, then we just waited for the moment to happen. And I have to say, on course of the whole campaign, we had so many difficult moments we had to overcome, that I think the advantage we had was that we were really ready for everything in that moment. So it was actually nice to see that at least one thing went to our way, which was that we didn't have to change players after 10 minutes like in Barcelona, and we didn't have to play with Bosingwa and the central defender and then down to 10 men, and you had all sorts of things. So this was actually nice, where you go back and you see, okay, they both survived the warm up. At least we can start the way we want.
It was a resilient group, and it was a different group, wasn't it? Because I suppose you mentioned all the suspended players, the injured players. You started with Bertrand on the left-hand side. It was a Champions League first start for Ryan Bertrand. Salomon Kalou started on the right-hand side, supporting Drogba with Mata just behind. And hold on, I think he's in the waiting room. Salomon Kalou. Let's bring him in.
Yes.
Hello, mate.
Hello.
You okay? Oh, you've got your shirt
Yeah.
on. That's good. Where are you?
I'm at Rio de Janeiro right now.
Oh, it's all right for some, isn't it? Hey,
He's
you
having
were-
breakfast now. He's having breakfast now.
You're up early.
I was up at 7:50. So yeah.
Listen,
It's the earliest you got up in your entire life.
Actually, that's true. That's true.
listen. Obviously, you started this game. It was and it was one of those games where you were behind the ball for a lot of it, weren't you? I mean, that Bayern Munich had a lot of the game. Did you think it was going to go your way right from the very off? Did you think there was something written in the stars because of what happened previously?
We believe in ourselves. I think we knew it was gonna be a difficult game, but we prepared well for this game. I mean, all this season, we have our goal set. It was the Champions League final, and once we get in Munich, there's no other way of thinking. It was to win, and we knew it was the end of era with the team we have, with those players with experience, and we were playing together for so long. So we have no choice than make it happen.
You had the only shot on target before Didier's goal. Was it a tough night to be a forward player?
Yeah, of course. But that's the character we have through the whole tournament. We went to Barcelona and we wait the right moment and we scored the goal we need to. And that's how we are prepared to take the fight. We knew Bayern was a strong team to play against. But we play with our quality. We believe in ourselves, and even it was a hard night. But the most important is to always win. So
always win and always celebrate in style. And Chelsea obviously celebrated in style afterwards. And Paolo, you were on the bench with a load of the players that couldn't be involved. But there was a rule, wasn't there? If they wanted to be involved in the celebration, they all had to be wearing their kit. Were you making sure that, they were sort of making sure that they were sort of as close to it as possible? What was it like to be on the bench with some of those who couldn't get out there and influence proceedings?
No, it's hard, and I think we suffer much more like from outside than inside. And I think Robbie was there, and you could see we were really quite live on the bench and tried to help everyone, and we knew that it was really important, and like to help, and it was hard, even the players like JT outside, all the other players that they couldn't be involved in that final, they were shouting as well, just behind the bench, and they would love to be there. But it was really important, and that's why it's not just like the players inside that are obviously like the most important, but everyone are important in different roles. Like I was on the bench with all the other players, and we also tried to help, and then we know that sometimes we were kind of doing like the manager role, but it wasn't without thinking. It was just like trying to help as well, be one more like to but we suffer a lot.
I remember Paolo talking to Bozingma a lot during the night.
Were you coaching him through the game?
I remember Paolo was always talking to Bose. It's fine, do this, do that. And that was really, Paolo warmed up, I think 7 or 8 times, because everybody, every time anybody was down, I was like, Paolo, get ready. I was really desperate to get him onto the pitch, because obviously, he deserved, to be also part of the playing squad, that night, because he nearly started the game or was going to start the game and so on. So, I remember so vividly that Paolo, every time I was like, somebody was on the pitch having a Paolo warm up, trying, to get him involved into the game. Yeah.
Remember, Robbie, it was like 5 minutes to go. And I was ready to replace Mata, and I just remember, like I was just next to Robbie, and just talking. And
Mata had a problem.
Mata was completely, he was dead. He couldn't run more. He was gone. And then I just remembered, just looked to the clock, and was I think 5 minutes left, and I just like told Robbie, I said, Robbie, it's 5 minutes left. I'm not a penalty taker. And, Mate will be a penalty taker. Should I go and this? If I was selfish, I really wanted to go and I would make everything to go and play like 5 minutes so everyone could see me and be involved. But in that moment, I knew that we could concede a goal like last minute or this, but I was already like thinking, okay, we should go to penalties. Mate is a good penalty taker, but in the end he missed the penalty, and I wanted to kill him because I know I missed like 5 minutes of.
You would have scored, Paulo.
And I could go and have my last 5 minutes, And
Paulo, I have faith on you. I know you would have scored that penalty. No doubt.
I would, Salah, you know me, Salah.
No, but I think I think that story with Juan actually shows how big pressure the Champions League final is. People can talk about what they want, but when we were watching we were studying. I was with the goalkeepers, and it was included Ross, Hilario, me, goalkeeper coach Christoph Lolichon, and even Jamal Blackman. We all had like 3 hours of penalties of Bayern since 2007. So we had a 5 years bunch of penalties, and we were studying it. But while we were preparing for the shootout, we watched Neuer as well, and we wanted to see what he does when you shoot again. And amazingly, every single time there was a left-footed player starting the shootout, he always dived to his left. So basically, we knew that Juan will be first because we had the order for penalties. We practiced for some time prior to that. So we actually told him. He said, Juan, if there is anything, you are the first. You are left-footed. He will dive 100% to his left. So for 2 weeks, he was practicing his penalty to the other side. So basically, whole 10 days prior to the final, he was shooting every penalty to the other side. And then in that moment, he shot, for whatever reason, he shot there. And of course, he dived to his left because that was his strength. That was what he was doing in what we've seen. So he basically knew he was going to dive there, but he shot there anyway. Then he missed it. And I asked him after the game, and I said, Juan, how? What happened? You knew that, this was going to happen. He would dive there, and then you were practicing shooting on the other side. Why did you change? And he said to me, I can't explain. He said, the moment I walked with the ball, put it on the spot, he said to me, I was ready to shoot the other side. But the moment I was meter from the ball, he said he had this feeling that the goalkeeper is going the other way, and then he changed. And this is what happened. But I think this is what shows how intense and how big this is the moment. So people, I think fans always watch and say, oh, what a rubbish penalty and what it is. But try to be under stress for 10 days prior to the final. Try to play 120 minutes in the most intense game of your life, and then go to shoot in that moment. Try to shoot the ball when you're completely tired and gone. Your legs are like a jelly, and then your mind plays all sort of direction. And I think this is what people have to realize, that you cannot replicate that, you cannot coach that, and you cannot try that in training. There's no way you put this in training. So this is why things like that happen.
Yeah, Paolo, you please didn't have to take one now, yeah?
I would take, no problem. I had no problem to, if I had to.
So celebrations afterwards, right? Whose idea was it to sort of choreograph the photo? Who was in charge of making sure that when the trophy lift happened, it was the perfect image? And who gate crashed it with their top off?
Everyone wants to be in the best spot. Forget who, like the organization. There's no organization. Everyone just wants to jump in and be in the best spot.
I heard that John and Frank wanted it to be some nice, clean trophy lift with them two at the front, and then Salomon come bundling in with his shirt off, jumping all over the place. Is that right?
Did I do that? I don't remember doing that. You don't plan it. Yeah, I have to. I think you don't really plan it. It happened. it happened is one time. You're like, okay, I'm gonna touch it. Now is the moment, and you just go for it. And I mean, it's one of the best night ever. So it's something that you would never plan to be like that.
Does anybody know the what Didier said to the cup? Because didn't he speak to the cup in the dressing room? Is that true?
Probably, yes. Probably said that finally you are mine. Maybe, I don't know. Something like that. Finally you're here, like you with us.
It's probably say something about 2008. He's like, yeah, right now I got you. Yeah. 2008 against Barcelona, you left me out. Now I'm here. I have you. Probably something like that.
Listen, gents, it was great to have you with me and relive that fantastic moment, the greatest night, the biggest triumph in Chelsea's history. It was a special occasion. It was nice to get a little bit of insight into some of the stuff that we maybe didn't see on the night. And also, Petr, it was also nice for you to get involved in it as well, because you didn't see half of it because you were doing the drugs test.
I didn't see any of it. I have to say, when the moment I came to the hotel, it was way past the midnight before I gave the sample. Then I couldn't even speak to anyone because I think they were all half dead from the celebration. Then I found half of the team jumping in the pool, so they were
the pool
drunk.
I missed that part.
So I found half of the team in the pool. So then, and actually, I sat down with the doctor and with the goalkeepers, and we had a cigar in the cigar. There was like a cigar room, so we had a cigar with some cognac or whatever it was in there. I remember that. That was the sort of moment where I just sat down and let it sink. The bus parade after the day after when we landed was absolutely fantastic. But I think towards the end, you just feel like, oh, can I get to bed, please? It was. I think when we came home after all that moment in the evening, I just passed out because I was completely exhausted.
It was draining. It was exhausting. That's how Salomon's feeling now, because it's still about 7:30 in the morning where he is. So he needs to get back to bed.
It's 8 now. So I know I might not go back anymore because I'm awake now.
Boys, thank you very much. Hope you're celebrating again soon. Thanks for being part of it. We really appreciate it.
Thank
Great
you.
reunion.
Nice to see you, Robbie.
Thank you
Nice
very
to see you,
much.
Salah.
See you, Robbie. See you,
Bye, Salah.
Peter.
Enjoy your holidays.
Ciao, ciao.